palmistry reading of another person, and there are a few questions the person basically had. It is it was mainly regarding his personal life, his married life. See, for married life, generally what people do is they take a look at the side of the palm. This is the area where people basically take a look. Now, on this particular area, we see one particular line and a very small line. These lines are the lines that are very near to the heart. These are earlier affections and attachments, and this is the later portion of one's life. I am not knowing the exact age of this particular person, so I'm just giving my opinion overall kind of a hand. So both these lines are in themselves perfect. There's nothing wrong with these particular lines at all. So the attachments the person is going to be having is going to be near to perfect. So there's no such problem as such in the attachments or the relationship or the marriage as such, and we do not see any wrong indications on this particular area of one's life. But as the person is asking this particular question, so probably there might be. So we are going to take a look at other aspects of the palm as well. See, I, uh, our uh, our relationships uh, can be seen on almost uh, all possible lines and portions of your hand. So we will go by each and every portion. So the first portion is the portion just under the first finger. This is the first Jupiter finger. Jupiter is a planet for administration, religion, and politics and honor. And few people, they just have a small cross out here, and that is an excellent sign for marriage. We do not see that particular cross. That is a very very rare kind of a cross. These crossing over of lines is not considered to be a cross, so we are not going to be looking at that particular. But we find that the person, this is the headline, there's a line that is originating from the mount of Jupiter and joining in to the main headline or the lifeline. The meaning basically remains the same. The meaning is basically the same. It basically means is having uh, the person is basically growth oriented. The person reaches up to a high position and his position remains intact. So this is the main part. His basically position uh, remains respectful throughout their life. So when we take a look, this is from the point of view of power, position, your work, all these things. But at the same time, this also governs your relationships as well. So if a person is having a bad marriage or a troubled marriage, probably it might even show up here, like his position gets damaged. But we do not find that particular sign out here, so we are going to say it's so the Jupiter area is perfect, so there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it is good with this particular. This is a rare kind of a line, upward line onto the mount of Jupiter. It is considered to be a beautiful sign for power, position, and all these kind of things, and even government or government related work or something like this. Now, the other aspect of the uh, attachments and relationships is on our money line. This is the money line, and this is the headline. So, the intersection of the head and the money line, this portion, this intersection is 35. So, this portion is before the age of 35. And if we take a look at the, and from this point onwards, the age could be, from this point onwards, the age could be approximately 30, 31, 31, 32. So we find that the line of money, the line of fate from the age of 30, 31, it is perfect. There's no wave like formation, there's no breaks on there are no breaks on the fate line. So all these things are considered to be very good for money, but apart from money it also has to tell something about our relationships as well, because sometimes what happens is if there's a break on the money line, it basically might mean that there is a divorce or probability of a divorce and your money gets is getting destroyed. A stable money line basically depicts a stable relationship. So this is one way of looking at it. Uh, and Many people who have a troubled marriage, they might have a break somewhere out here, or maybe even a little bit later on. So, as such, because there's stability in one's money line, we do not see any such possibility. The third thing is we would take a look at the sun line. This is the sun finger, this is the Apollo finger, and this is a line under it. It's a very perfect kind of a line that we see under the finger of sun, above the heart line. This is the heart line, and below the finger. So whenever we find a perfect kind of a line of sun, it basically is indicative of a very stable. It tells about that his work is going to be extremely good. He would be known in whatever he's doing, and and he would have a singular purpose, because single lines are considered to be better than multiple lines, and a simple line is always considered to be a better line. So we find a simple and one line under the finger of sun, and it is basically good. Just out here, this is a sun line. This starts at the age of let's say 37 to 44. During this particular period, the line is a little bit dim. Dim lines are not considered to be as good as firm lines. Dim lines indicates doubts during that particular period. We do not find the line as such. If we do not find a line somewhere out here. So there's just a small line in between. So absence of the line doesn't mean absence of work as such. Do not think that if there's no line, it is all bad. It is not like that. And we would now move on to the area of mercury. See, the area of mercury is also a very important area. This is the area of your communication, technical skills, business skills, all kind of skills. So if we take a look from the point of view of your work, a single line out here means that the person is basically has sharpened his skills in the area of communication and calculations. And communication and calculation can be looked on from the point of view of your work, or even point of view of your relationship. See, people who have a clear-cut area of mercury, it basically depicts that they would not try to confuse things. They would be extremely precise in what they are basically saying. So these people are very clear cut in what they try to convey. So that is considered to be a beautiful sign for your work also, and your relationships as well. So in that way, it is perfect. Even this particular line going towards the amount of mercury, even this is perfect. And People who have too many crisscrossing lines out here, the person doesn't have, but I'm just trying to explain to you that people who have too many crisscrossing lines over, they normally miscommunicate and miscalculate in their profession as well as their relationships as well. They want to convey something, but they miscommunicate or miscalculate or whatever, something like this. So that's basically a wrong kind of an indication. We do not see that kind of an indication out here, and it's near to perfect, I would say. So in that way, I would say that it is good. Now we take a look at the other aspect, and that is a very important aspect. It basically governs our heart line. See, the heart line is a very important line. It tells about our relationships. So in that, basically, we find that the heart line is coming and ending under the finger of Saturn. See, ending under the finger of Saturn means that these people could be very good in business or even in service, because because Saturn basically depicts responsibility. Saturn depicts being grounded. Saturn depicts that the person knows the ground realities of life, and the person is good management of people and resources. So these people are extremely good at these particular things, and they are more realistic. They are not idealistic, they are more realistic. So people who have, and they do not have high expectations from anything. people who have a heart line ending under the finger of Jupiter, those people are unrealistic. Those people are basically more idealistic, and they're more sensitive, and they have higher expectations. So people who have higher expectations, they are likely to be more affected by a bad relationship out here, even if the person has a bad relationship. I cannot say that the person doesn't have a bad relationship. The person might have a bad relationship, yet the person is not going to get affected. The person is realist. Apart from that, you would also notice that the heartline as such is deep and clear and singular type. There's just one branch, one strong branch out here, one branch out here. So these could be seen as negative, but they are not as negative as other people. When we compare the line with other people, then we basically see this line, this is a heart line, and this is a strong branch that is hanging on and touching the head, and that's a basically negative aspect because it is imagine a person's physical heart, and a branch is hanging on to that physical heart, and it has got great amount of weight over a period of time. So what's going to happen is uh, that it is going to create stress, anxiety. It's going to pull the person's heart downwards, and it would create stress. So that can be seen as a negative sign, but as such, the the heart line quality is near to perfect because it's a single kind of a line. It doesn't have any breaks out here. It doesn't basically it doesn't have any breaks out here. It doesn't basically have island-like formations over it. And it doesn't have a wave-like formation also. Like some people have a wave-like formation, so that's a basically negative aspect. Apart from that, if we take a look at the headline as such is near to perfect, so there's no such indication that we find out here anything negative on this particular line, because it's a very consistent kind of a line, very deep and clear kind of a line. There's no wave-like formation just under the finger of Saturn, because Saturn sometimes indicate depression and all. So we don't even find those indications out here. So when a person has got a deep and clear singular kind of a heart headline, it basically is indicative of the clarity of mind the person might have. So I'm not denying that the person might not have a bad relationship. I don't say that. But even with the worst kind of a relationship, the person is able to manage and perform in his duties in the most perfect way. So in that way, this hand is good, and I would not say that it is negative, but uh, we just take a look at the other aspects of the palm as well. There's a supporting lifeline that we see on the this is the this is the lifeline. There's a supporting line. This is the area of Mars, negative area of aggression fire. So supporting lifeline is a good indication to have, and it means the person remains protected till the time the line is there. So the line continues till the age of approximately, this age is approximately around 50s, and till then the line is there. We will just take a brief look at the other hand as well. On this particular hand, also similar indications can be seen. Same kind of indications. Only on this particular hand, in the earlier period, the uh, lifeline, there's a small break. Break in the lifeline is generally not considered to be good, but because it is overlapping, this is the lifeline, this is ending, and then there's an overlap. This is overlapping the main line. So it is increase of energies during that particular period. Some troubles, and but troubles do not affect this particular person, and similar kind of indications are there on this particular person's hand, and the lines as such of money is the line of fate, continues for a till the age of 35. Then there's a small shift at the age of 35. This is when there's a small shift. Then there's absence of line from the age of it's quite dim. So there's absence of line from the age of 48 to 53. Even out here it's not so good. So on left hand there's a break and all, and so this is the only period where troubles can come up. But because left hand is the passive hand, left hand is not the active hand to refer to, but still it has its significance. So that's the reason I'm taking a look at this particular hand as well. And the length of the finger, if it is short, if it is not even reaching this particular line, then basically sometimes what happens is that the person creates distance between their near and dear ones. So we do not find that the finger of mercury is extremely short. It's not like reaching only till here. So if it is what if it is reaching till the ring finger top phalange line, it's considered to be a long line. But if it is a little bit short, it means that the person creates distance between their near and dear ones. And the near and dear ones in the earlier period of our life is our parents, then brother, sister, then friends, and later period of life it's our wife and children. That's where the distance gets created. So uh, we don't find the line to be extremely small, so that's the reason why I would not basically comment upon it. And I think rest I would talk to you and explain to you whatever I have to say. You can ask your questions, you can tell about what is happening in your life so that I can try to correlate back onto your hand. uh, One small thing before I end this particular video, that is uh, this is the lifeline, and there's a line coming from out here and nearly touching the line of life. This is where few problems can come up. The age is approximately 60. That's when problems can come up. So that's the only portion of time I would say that uh, problems can be seen, probably from the health point of view. So the person needs to be careful during that particular time, although we do not find the similar kind of indication on the person's right hand. So on the right hand we do not find that particular indication. Uh, the only problem area that I see on the right hand is that on the heart line there's a strong branch. Strong branch exerts more weight, uh, and it is attachments bringing in stress and anxiety. So that's a negative aspect. And towards the end also you would find this branch. Probably this is the branch that we can say can bring about troubles. But as such, a perfect kind of a money line kind of negates any problem in marriage, or it reduces the trouble the person might have, and there could be continuity in one's life. So thank you for watching this video. Thanks, bye, and take care.